think. Now, imagine in health as well. 20 years ago, we've got something called the National Institute of Clinical Excellence in the UK, which is now responsible for prescribing which drugs are available on the National Health Service and which not. A hugely important institution. The model's being adopted by other different countries. They're pricing, essentially, the quality of life. Deeply sensitive areas, deeply controversial institution, but leading to better allocation of resources, in my view, and many others. So I think there is, in a deep sense, although I appreciate, it's very interesting what you're saying about in the Australian context, and I can't say in the UK, frankly, how much importance these willingness to pay studies have had, but there is a deep sense in which public economics has overturned the way that we think about public policy in those areas.
No, actually I do agree with you about public economics. I just don't agree with that.
Right.
Well, I've seen the effects of that method just fall on infertile ground time and time again, that's all.
Okay.
Just that method.
No, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. Do you have another question? No? Yes. Here. Is that gentleman here?
Can I just take that question up? I think the message that Hassan's bringing across here is that we have to treat the valuation of culture in the same way we treat the valuation of other public policy choices. I think, and by the way, I'm an economist with 20 years experience in cultural economics, so I'm glad that I'm rarer than I thought I was. That's a good piece of news. Scarcity is the word I should have used. So I just want to throw out the idea that I think a lot of the problems the cultural sector has with economists comes from a whole bunch of preconceptions about what economics is and what economists are and what economists are interested in. And I'd remind people that the Nobel Prize winner for economics from a few years ago was a guy named Daniel Kahneman, who wasn't an economist, he was a psychologist. And economics is quickly trying to incorporate a whole lot of ideas about psychology and expand its domain. And I would question whether it's more difficult to value cultural value in the minds of consumers than it is to value human life or environmental amenity and a whole bunch of things. Valuation is really hard, but I think willingness to pay type questions or various ways to triangulate willingness to pay through revealed behaviour is the only way that we can value culture objectively. And that's what we're seeking. So, I think what you're trying to do is absolutely right. And also I take the argument about willingness to pay, but views about